Now we managed to get the Saab 16 valve 2.0 engine out of there with minimal spillage on the floor. It looks a lot worse than it actually is. It's just a little bit of coolant. It's not a big deal. Jeez. Gotta pull the. I've pulled the engine out of this car a million times, but I've never taken it completely apart. So we're gonna have to find a one by one of what I kind of want to do. I mean, the exhaust has got to come off because there's lots of parts that I could use on my next exhaust for one of these. The brake booster and all that, and the master cylinder, they probably have to come off. All the wiring harness, and it has to come off in there, and a bunch of crap in here has to come off. And oh, I've got to pull this. I used a welding cable, like I think it's a 00. Fairly sure it's a 00. Maybe it's a single 0. Anyway, welding cable for the battery relocation kit that's in the back there, and pull that out of there. Probably reuse that. Anyway, so the engine's sitting over here on my little shelf, and or my little rolly thing. And anyway, so I drained the transmission obviously before removing it because on this car I have the transmission cooler kit with the pump. There's a gear, a double gear pump in here, and it actually has a large banjo here, as you can see, which actually pulls oil from the drain on the bottom where the diff is, and then it goes through the cooler that's over here. I took an ATF cooler, and it returns through another banjo fitting on the side of the case on this modified plate here. You can see. So that's what I used to cool the fluid. Anyway, the fluid has to come out in order to remove the engine, so that's the bottom line of that story. Anyway, I thought I'd show everyone the carnage that ensued inside that gearbox while I was driving it. I've never quite seen... Maybe on other Nodar videos there's been really bad transmissions, but I think this maybe takes the cake. We'll consult Keith on his transmissions pasts, but yeah, she's... not looking so good. We've got those are springs. I think those are for the collars. Pieces of synchro. You can tell that's a synchro because it's got the focus little grooves in it. So that's a piece of synchro. So obviously fourth gear synchro is no longer with us. There's some shards of gears, various stuff like that in there, and just an overall smell of burnt. So that was fun. Anyway, I tried to I took this car for a real good boot before I finally pulled it in. So I went down by the beach and absolutely drag raced the hell out of it to try to blow up the gearbox kind of once and for all. But I managed to get it down to managed to bust third gear on it by doing a big burnout. The tires are nice and smooth now. So there won't be much saving in that transmission other than the little side plates and stuff like that, which are nice. So yeah, we're going to continue on our little Saab extravaganza here. And we'll start pulling this car apart. I've gotten all the gas out of it because there's a whole bunch of premium gas in there. Put that into the old gas hog behind it there. So yeah, we're going to continue pulling this shit apart.